Has the league caught up to the Shanahan system? You wanted to talk about this. Seems like
Well,
you're
I
very
think it's
passionate about
interesting because like the Niners are very adamant about their schemes. Like they want the Pete Carroll, Robert Saleh scheme on defense, no matter who the coordinator is.
Yeah.
And they're so proud of Kyle's scheme because it's been, proliferated around the league and so many teams run it and it's been so successful. I think, in 2016, defenses didn't know what to do with it. 2019, when they had Jimmy and Mostert and Debo, like they were really made defenses look stupid. What they did to the Packers in the NFC Championship game, just running the ball every time. I mean, you could say clearly that their scheme was a step ahead of what defenses were doing. Now, I mean, I think you started to see the cracks in the Super Bowl last year. Like, if you just get this scheme into third down, all of a sudden they can't pick up a blitz. Like, that's a problem. And then it's like, okay, well, that the Shanahan McVay scheme is like a run first scheme. They want to run the ball, but they don't really have like a quarterback running element. And now there's all these offenses around the league that have that. There's like a 2-back attack, and like they can always leverage it. Like they can have the quarterback be a rushing threat on 3rd and 8 because they're going to go for it on 4th and 2, but you don't go for it on 4th. Like this whole scheme is very conservative in their game management. Like they're not really a big go for it on 4th down team to begin with. So I think it's almost like they were ahead of the curve, but now it's almost like playing with one arm behind your back. Like, here's another thing. Yeah, you want to run the ball, but they're so adamant about getting explosives in the passing game. So it's handoff, play action, throw 15 yards over the middle. So that's great, but you get so many turnovers. And you're a run-first team, and your passing game is like, you get some explosives, but it seems like you lose the game more often than you win it with your passing game, unless you have Matthew Stafford, which the Niners never do. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you don't really trust your quarterback. Your passing game's kind of reckless. Your offensive line isn't good. You can't pick up a blitz. You're not going to go for it on 4th down. Your running game can be dominant, but like it's going to be hard to be as dominant as like the Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley duo. You know what I mean? It just feels like they need to pivot and evolve. And you look at Green Bay, they all of a sudden brought in Malik Willis. Maybe LaFleur can sort of adapt that McVay Shanahan system to the things that Washington and Philly and Kansas City are doing, because they kind of have to. And if they don't, I think they're going to get passed up. There's way too many. Look, if the best passing quarterback in the league, Mahomes, is a good runner, then I think every team needs a quarterback who's a better runner than Mahomes. You can't compete with that, with Kirk Cousins doing bootlegs and running for 50 yards a year. You know what I mean? You can't. That's old school.
Would you want Justin Fields as our backup? I've heard a lot of people, they'd want him as our backup. So then for plays that maybe it's a 4th and 2, we bring him in and he can run the ball.
Yes.
I would like that. I would like that.
Justin Fields, dude, I would even be interested in Trey Lance. Now, the thing with Justin Fields is that he's demonstrably faster than Trey Lance, like a better runner. I think he's one of the better ball carriers in the league. And I think if you look at his passing, it's gotten more and more efficient every year. And I think but again, like, can Kyle really adjust his system to help a quarterback like that flourish? We saw that LaFleur can. And I think what's so cool about it is like they won games with Willis throwing 14 passes. Yeah, man, you want to run the ball. You just bring in a quarterback who is a running threat, who can run 6 times a game and complete 11 of 14 passes, 10 of 14 passes. I mean, that's definitely a winning strategy. I think the Niners could have done that with Trey Lance. And just because it didn't work out with him, don't be afraid of trying it with someone else, because I think that's clearly where the league is going.
Like you talk about, has the league caught up to Shanahan's system? And well, this is kind of a generic answer, but he's been coaching the team for 9 some years and hasn't really changed anything.
I mean, McVay's offense isn't that great anymore. McDaniel's offense isn't that great anymore. Bobby Slowick just got fired.
Like, it's kind of it's been 9 years.
The 2 offenses in the Super Bowl are both RPO offenses. Washington's an RPO offense.
I think Shanahan's just got to change it up a little bit. It's not like he's just stop doing the same thing. Stop using Debo. All this, like, you got to change it up a little bit. It's not 2020 anymore. We're in 2025 now. Like, you got to start changing it up a little bit instead of doing the same things that you always do. The jet sweeps to Debo. I am literally all the way in Canada, and I could tell what play Shanahan's doing right away. Oh, jet sweep to Debo. Okay, boom. It's like I'm on a couch in Canada. How can I tell? Like, so No, I do think the
It
league
just
has
seems
caught
to
up
me
to
like
Shanahan.
if you are a run first system and you
Yeah.
want to, I mean, that's what the Shanahan system is. It's a
Yeah.
run first system. It's the running section of the playbook is bigger and more complex than the passing section. If that's what you want to do, then your quarterback should probably be pretty involved and not just as a scrambler. You should have a couple of play calls a game, 2, maybe 3, where he runs. And I'm not saying
Bring
run into
back
the
Trey
teeth of the
Lance.
defense, but like, look at dude, Jaden Daniels is like 6'3", 140 pounds. I mean, he's really skinny. He looks like he could break. And they run him, and they run him out of bounds. They protect him. I mean, there are ways to do it. And I think Purdy's quick enough that they could be leveraging that too. So I'd like to see Shanahan do it with Purdy. Don't turn him into Kirk Cousins. He's not Peyton Manning. Those days are over, man. You got to use him more like Jaden Daniels.
Because Purdy's fast, man. I remember I was talking to
Yeah.
a Cowboys fan, and he's like, "Oh, Purdy has no legs," and then no, Purdy's actually pretty fast.
I mean, he's more of a running threat than Jordan Love.
Exactly. I think he's faster than
He
Jordan
is.
Love. So why don't we use his legs more? Like, I feel like it's just like stand in the pocket.
It's a schematic
and then-
limitation. It's a philosophical limitation. And the
And I
thing
think
that gives me hope is that maybe McVay and Shanahan look at LaFleur. They're all friends, and they watch what they did with what he did with Willis in the offseason. They say, damn, that worked. We can incorporate something like that too. That's how you do it. Thank you, Mike. Matt.
Yeah.
Not Mike.
So I don't know. I mean, bringing back Trey Lance though, I don't. Trey Lance, oh, what a guy! What a great.
What's going to happen to him, man?
I don't know.
What's going to happen to Trey?
He fell off.
The thing with Trey is he just may not be accurate enough. Like even if you put him in an RPO system and said like just
play. Did you see that one where he rolled out to the left?
Yeah.
He had a guy wide open. I could have made that throw wide open, and it was short.
But I feel like that's the kind of throw that he can make, and that when he misses that, it's like, oh, so you're in your head. But how could you not be, right? I mean, you never get an opportunity. Everyone's called you a bust. So much pressure on you. Like I can see having the yips a little bit. I mean, look at Jake Moody.
Jake Moody, we
it's
gotta
mental.
bring him back.
It's a lot of pressure.
Got to bring him back. He's awesome. Love
oh,
him.
he's so good. I heard he's still on the team.
Love Jake
Shanahan
Moody.
needs to pivot. He needs to do something a little different. And with this quarterback he has in Brock, he's more mobile than Shanahan realizes. When they draft him, he compared him to Nick Mullins.
Like
You have a mobile quarterback.
Stop playing him like Kirk Cousins. Just
Stop. Exactly, dude.
Sit in the pocket. When the pocket collapses, then roll out. No, run.
He throws too many picks he's kind of overrated as a passer. If he has a bunch of all pros around him and Christian McCaffrey to dump it off to, nice. But even then, he throws too many picks. He throws too many picks. Like you need to embrace the running game with Brock Purdy because as a pure passer, you can't. He's 8-11 career when he throws at least 30 passes in a game. He's going to lose more than he wins if it's a Brock Purdy throwing game. Just the way it is.
Yeah.